Thanks very much, Michelle. I'm sure everyone is encouraged by those words. I'm going to say a few words myself before introducing our next artist, who will be Ted Christopher. Brothers and sisters, Michelle has already made the point that we were disappointed 7 years ago, quite rightly disappointed, because we saw an opportunity to break free from the restrictive chains of Westminster rule and begin the journey, because let's be clear about it. Independence is not a destination. Independence is the beginning of a journey. Independence gives you the powers to begin to tackle the problems that we know face our country. Problems in a country that is so rich in land and natural resources, a country that has so much oil and gas and clean energy resources, a country that in relation to the world would be in the top 10 of natural wealth, and yet 1 in 4 of our children are living in poverty. Over 300,000 of our pensioners living in poverty. Thousands of homes inadequate for the families that they are supposed to accommodate. Wages that are so low that hundreds of thousands rely on benefits to make up the ability to live week in, week out. When are we going to realize, brothers and sisters, that there is no dignity in work if the wages that you're paid are not enough to live on? We need proper incomes in order that there is dignity for all. And we need to understand that the resources that exist in our country will only be used for the Commonwealth, for everyone, if they're publicly owned. We need to publicly own the resources. That means the oil, that means the gas, that means the electricity, and most importantly of all, it means the renewables industry. Brothers and sisters, we can't rely on big business to develop the renewables industry. We have to publicly invest, publicly own that industry, so that we become the world leader in clean energy. That's what an independent Scotland could become. 7 years ago, we rose from 25% in the polls. We were written off. Let's be clear, David Cameron only consented to that Section 30 order because he was absolutely convinced we were going to lose. We gave them a fright. We gave them a hell of a fright. You'll remember a couple of weeks before the referendum on 18th September 2014, there was emergency meetings called at number 10. They brought in the bosses of the banks, the bosses of the supermarkets. They even got the royal family involved, and they made sure the message was put out loud and clear across Scotland that it would be bad if people left the Union. I remember the debates. Some of you will be able to remember them. The TV debates. I remember one in particular where someone arguing for independence made the point that in a number of years, if we don't go for independence, we could end up with a right-wing government led by Boris Johnson, a government committed to austerity, to cutting welfare, to cutting taxes for the wealthy. We could end up being in a position where we're dragged out of a European Union despite whatever Scotland votes. We could end up with with a country that deploys weapons across the world and spends billions on nuclear arms rather than spending billions in improving wages and benefits for ordinary people. And they were criticised on that show for being scaremongers. They were being scaremongers to talk about a right-wing-led Boris Johnson government. Scaremongers for talking about being dragged out of a European Union. Scaremongers for talking about a threat to the National Health Service. Brothers and sisters, 7 years on, we have to understand that wasn't scaremongering. That was looking into the future, a very, very dark future, which unfortunately has unfolded. We hear people all the time saying, can you be certain that an independent Scotland will be better than being part of the British Union? Can you give us guarantees that life will be better in an independent Scotland? Brothers and sisters, we may not be able to give guarantees. We may not be able to give certainties. But we can be absolutely certain that life as part of the British Union means more cuts, more austerity, more inequality, more corruption at the very top of society, handing out contracts to their friends in big business, wasting billions of pounds. The only certainty we can give you is staying within the British Union means life is going to get tougher and harder for ordinary working class families. That's why we say independence offers us hope of a better future, and that's why we continue to fight for independence, brothers and sisters. I want to ask you to think of the word fear. Think of the acronym fear. It gives you a choice, doesn't it? Fear could be the idea of forgetting everything and running away. That's what fear can stand for. Forget everything, run away. Or fear could be the ability to say that we will not run away. Instead of forgetting everything, we'll face up and rise. We will say absolutely that we will not be beaten down. We will not be told that we're not big enough, not rich enough, not brave enough. Brothers and sisters, we need in Scotland not more warriors. We need more warriors. We need to stop worrying about whether we can dot the I's and cross the T's. We need to say loud and clear, we've waited 7 years. We're not starting now on 25%. We're starting now on at least 51% who support independence. And as soon as the bell is rang and the new campaign begins, we're confident. Because how many people do you meet? How many people do you meet who say, oh, I used to be yes, but now I'm a no? I don't meet those people. But I meet lots of people who say, I was a no, but now I'm a yes. And I don't just mean the Billy Connellys of the world. I don't just mean the Ewan McGregors of the world. I don't just mean Texas, the band. These are all indications of people who were no, but are now yes. Brothers, I say it loud and clear. Fear to us means face everything and rise. That's what we say. Face everything and rise. We appeal to our political leaders in the Scottish Government. No more dithering. No more waiting. No more postponing. Please recognise they are weak just now. The British establishment is weak. Strike while they're weak. You don't wait till they recover. Please, Scottish Government, show an ounce of the courage that the grassroots movement has. Stand up and be counted and say loud and clear, next spring we will ask the Scottish people once again, do you want to be an independent country? And next spring we are absolutely confident we won't be talking about the 45. We'll be talking about the 65. Thanks very much, brothers and sisters.